What's up guys? Right here I've got my Ebony 4x5 field camera. This model is the SV45Ti. I wanted to do a little overview of the camera, talk about some of the movements and maybe some differences you'll find in other versions of field cameras. Starting on the top of the camera, it usually has a leather strap that goes across here. Mine didn't come with one, so I'm having a local leather worker make one that fits the camera. And right here we have a hook. This is to lock the camera closed when you're not using it. I got it from Can-Ham Cameras and fit it myself to this camera by carefully measuring, drilling, and setting the mount in place for a nice sturdy lock, keeping it closed. The original one would constantly open, and when I'm holding the camera, it doesn't really give it a secure lock. So I felt like a little customization and better styling was needed in my situation. All you do is flip it up to the side and then open it like that. You'll notice this little notch right here in the slider. When you open it, just make sure it's engaged into the knob. Tighten it down on both sides. And there, it's locked open. Next, you have to pop open the front half. And from there, you just pull this up. In this model, you have to kind of slide it out and make sure that this slots into the front. Again, you're gonna have a little cutout in here. Make sure that's lined up. You lock that down, and then you can lower the front standard down. When you're lowering the front standard, there's a nice little spot right here that you can line up onto the railing, and then you'll know that the front is zeroed out. After that, your camera is open and locked into place. Next thing we need is a lens to put on the front. In order to get the lens on, there's a little retainer here that slides up, and on the bottom a little ledge. So you'll take your lens, slide it in the bottom, then slide the top down so it's locked into place. Now these lenses are where all of the mechanics happen for the camera. Right here, you've got a little lever to cock the shutter. On the back side, you have your aperture selection right here. On the top, this switch lets you open and close your shutter so you can view your image. And then you have your shutter speed selector right here. On the bottom, you have your shutter release cable, and you just press it when you're ready, and that easy. Coming to the back of the camera, we've got a little metal protection for the ground glass here. Slide this piece up, and you can remove that. So one cool thing about this is it has these tabs right here where the springs are, and you can push these in and remove the ground glass. Now that's pretty cool if you have a different attachment, like a 120 film adapter or maybe a Polaroid adapter. I don't have any of those, but it's a cool option, so might be something in the future I'd look into picking up. If you ever want to change the orientation of your image, there's these little tabs at the top. You can slide those out. Carefully hold on to the ground glass. Take it off and rotate it and slide it back in. There'll be some tabs on the bottom you'll line up, and then slide the top back on and you're good to go. All right, coming over to the side of the camera, we've got a overwhelming amount of knobs, and all of them do something a little bit different. A few of them are similar. We're gonna start with these bottom three right here. Now these are actually for your focus. The whole bottom of the camera will shift the front lens forward, and that helps focus to whatever length you're trying to get. And then the back actually moves the back of the camera further back. Now one cool thing about this camera is how much extension you can get with these bellows. And that allows you to do some macro photography if you have the lenses for that. I do not, but it's a cool option to have in the future should I decide to get one. And that's as far as the camera will extend. I'm gonna bring that back And this middle knob actually helps you bring the lens in closer to the back of the camera. And that's more for wide angle lenses. If you have anything super wide, you can bring the front lens towards the film plane, and that will get you a nice, really wide image. Now they also can get bag bellows, which will replace these regular bellows with a bag. And what that allows you to do is kind of pull the sides out a little bit if you need to help the bellows kind of get out of the way. With the lens being so close to the film, a lot of times the bellows can get in the way if the image is that wide. Okay, I'm gonna get that back to zeroed out. Whenever you are folding up the camera, you always have to have all of the positions zeroed out so everything folds up compact where it should be. So next we're gonna look at actually this knob up here. It's a pretty cool one. Not a lot of cameras have this, and this is kind of a interesting, I guess, add-on that Ebony allows. A lot of the higher ends might offer this, or higher end field cameras. So when you untwist these, I don't know if you can see, the bellows actually can pop out. And on the front of the camera, you have a little slide just like your lens board and ground glass. And from there you can take your bellows out completely. When I got this camera, it actually had bad bellows. There were holes in them, they were rotted. So I was able to remove them easily just like that. And there's a company in the UK that makes custom bellows. So I was able to ship my bellows to them, and they remade them to the same specification, sent them back to me, brand new, and I was able to install them and have essentially a perfect working camera after that. There's not a whole lot of upkeep that these cameras need. As long as the bellows are good, generally they're going to be light tight and exactly what you need. Right here we have a knob that we showed in the beginning of the video. This one is the one you use to lock the camera in upright position, but you'll also use it to tilt forward or backwards. I'll lock that back into place. And the next knob is this one here. Loosen that up, and that allows you to rise the camera. Rise and fall. So lock that back up. Now the last knob on the back, or these little ones here, this is the biggest reason why I chose this model of camera. It's called asymmetrical tilt. It allows you to tilt forward or backwards, but it does a different point of tilt, a different axis. And what that allows you to do, by tilting in the middle of the film plane, you can have part of your image in focus, and while you're tilting, you can watch another part on the opposite side become in focus or out of focus if that's what you're looking for. It's very useful and a lot of fun to be able to play with. It's easier to explain by seeing it in person. Some film companies or camera companies have their ground glass with markings on it. I believe Chamonix does that. My Ebony camera does not, but you can see what's in focus and what's not in focus while you're actually taking the picture and playing with the movements. So very, very nice. It's a lot of fun, and one of the, like I mentioned, biggest reasons why I chose this model over some of the other ones. All right, on the front here we have 3 knobs. 2 of them are combined, so looks a little odd, but first one's these at the bottom. Again, just like the back, it's for tilting forward, backwards, and locking back to 0. The second one right here, the circle, is for rise and fall. Now that one has a lot of movement, more than the back one did. So again, you can always make sure to zero it out when you're done, right there. Now the front side also has asymmetrical tilt right here on the outer side of that wheel. You loosen that up, and same as the back, you can tilt it forwards, backwards, and while you're setting up your image and composing, you can see what's in focus and just dial it in exactly how your creativity wants. Now, next up is this smaller switch on the base. This one is just a flick one way, and that allows you to slide or shift the lens left and right. And this one also has a little red dot so you know if it's in the zeroed position. Aside from that, it allows you to swing, again, left and right. Okay, and same thing on the back. It has a switch right here for your shift and swing. Now, closing up the camera is just as easy as opening it. First, you're going to take the lens off. Once you have the lens taken off, all you have to do is loosen up all of the knobs that are for the tilt, front and back. You can do the front first if you want. You're going to raise this one up, loosen those knobs as well. Raise this up, and there's going to be a little cutout on the back. Tilt it forward. And this one you kind of have to play with how high you have to move it, how far back you have to move it, and it's going to fit in the front just like that. Okay, and once you have that up, the back just falls in place, just like that. Once you have the front standard down in place, then you loosen up the tilt knobs for the back, and it'll just fall down into place, assuming everything is set up and zeroed how it should be. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Something isn't aligned. And then from there, if you don't put the lock on, it's still gonna pop up. So all you do, put it down there, and you're good to go, locked up. Don't forget to put your ground glass protector back into place. You do not want to break that. Very expensive. And there you go. I'm going to do a little more in depth on each of the movements in the future, show from the ground glass perspective what each movement does and how you might want to use it in real world usage. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or any input that you want to add, or if I left anything out, just leave a comment in the bottom. Please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in more future videos. Thanks for watching. See ya.